Greetings and salutations, Internet citizens. It is I, Wolfphototech, and here we are with another delightful video. This time it is Shadowrun Sixth World, or otherwise known as 6th Edition, Gamemaster screen. Now, there's, right off the bat, this is a noticeable detail. It looks a little different. Interestingly enough, unlike, say, Wizards of the Coast or Paizo Publishing, or the vast majority of companies that make these kinds of things, there is a whole slew of other features that are included in this Gamemaster screen. Namely, you see the logos on the screen. Much like a lot of Gamemaster screens nowadays, that it's in landscape format. But if you notice, there's little cute sliders here on the screen. Now, each one of these logos in the white boxes happens to be a major corporation within the Shadowrun universe. And the gauges are for your group's level of reputation or street cred with each corporation. So as your party improves their social standing with a corporation, it moves up, or in case they do something terrible, it moves down. So there's a built-in tracker on the screen for party representation. Party social credit with each corporation. And then there's a general one on the side here as well that has a far larger range. On the back side of this screen, when if it's in its original wrap, there'll be this sheet right here that shows off all the stuff that is included in this screen. This is, by the way, not all the stuff that's included in this screen. Please note, in the case of, say, like Chaosium, they actually sell their Gamemaster screens in pack bundles, where it comes with a whole bunch of extra stuff, and the same thing goes for Cubicle 7. WotC and Paizo tend to be on the cheaper end, as well as a few other companies when it comes to Gamemaster screens. So I'm going to take this little advertisement sheet. By the way, this MSRP's, I vaguely remember seeing the MSRP here. I think it's like $25, or it sells for $25 on Amazon. Now I'm going to move it to landscape mode. Landscape mode, activate! There's this little pocket here. You can put a label in there for your campaign, like Thieves Abound, or the Untouchables, or the Raccoons, or something like that. That was a campaign concept I actually was coming up with for a cyberpunk slash either Call of Cthulhu or something like this inline campaign where the characters play in modern day or near modern day world as young people, and they get into all kinds of trouble, but that's up to them if they want to go that far. But anyways, this is 4 panels. Only note is that there's no paper over the seams here, so it kind of looks a little rough in some spots in design. However, they put in extra features. Now, as I say, there's multiple sheets that's inside of it that are for all kinds of fun stuff, like sheets for mechanics. Now, starting from left to right on the screen, you got 2 panels of standard Gamemaster screen artwork, 2 panels of standard Gamemaster screen artwork. This is typical with most Gamemaster screens, where they'll have a huge landscape image of something happening, and it's up to your just pretty artwork for the players to look at. However, on this Gamemaster screen, there's a center panel right here, as well as that meter I showed before. I'm going to close this up partially. You cannot fold it back the other way because they designed the hinges in this, so you can't actually fold it back the other way. That's one of the negative points of this screen, is that it's not flexible in a particular direction. You could actually result in ripping that. However, you notice there's another pocket here, and inside this pocket, let me get it out. Come on, let me get it out. Let me get them out. in this pocket, there's these sheets in here. There's sheets in here. And behind all those sheets, there's this right here. If you remember before, when you saw with the piece of artwork there, you have multiple double-sided sheets of different artwork for your Shadowrun adventures. So I just flip it so you can see both sides. This is actually a really nice touch overall from Callus Games, Game Labs, to you as the Game Master. Because you can always just pick out one of these scenes. Like if you're playing in Seattle or Detroit or Tokyo or Detroit. Or even worse, Chicago. You have artwork, and you even have like a somewhat fantasy-esque artwork for one. Yes, there are dragons in Shadowrun if you haven't played Shadowrun. So you have multiple choices for what you can just put in that pocket right there, that sleeve. Now, however, there's also another feature you can use with this pocket, is that you can either take a regular piece of paper and put it in there as a bulletin to the players about various important events or whatever you want, or another cheat sheet or something for your players, so they can easily see your screen and they, oh, there's that. That's the important thing right now. You can put like expiration card in there or something that states their adventuring, or a map or something of the overview of the city. But you can just take this pretty artwork and just slide it right in here as such. And now you have a piece of artwork for the scene for your game. Now, as you know, I've already showed you this one, but now let's go to the inside of the Game Master screen. Now, if you notice something really interesting, on the two outsides, there's more of those pockets that you can easily slip in cards. And I do happen to have Shadowrun cards that you can easily slip in there, or you can take notes or little cards you make yourself and slide them in there as well. I don't think I even opened this one yet. But you can just slip a card, if you want, inside that pocket like so. I've only opened some of these and gone through them in the past a few times. It's one of those things, I want to get people into trying to play different games, but, they kind of have their system that they like to play the most. Partially think it's just simply people getting comfortable with something and not wanting to learn something new. But in here, besides this screen, there's also this large pocket right here for other types of cards, maybe like a vehicle card or something, if you want to put that in there. But you also have various important tables, as the standard Game Master screens would typically have, for different things such as heat damage, noise, assessing table, matrix actions, ranged increments, and so forth, heat effects. But they also, as you can see, they'll have the page number. They'll have the page number right behind there. So you can always go and look at those page numbers, and you'll generally find more rules or information on these mechanics. However, I do have to denote that there are some interesting details, such as Callus Game Studios has gotten into a series of refinements to their core rulebook for the Shadowrun Sixth World game system. Standard issue that a lot of people in the Shadowrun community states is that Callus Games is terrible at organizing using books. So there is a high probability. I do not have the original core rulebook for Shadowrun Sixth World. I have the second revised version. I had that on the channel. But they also released a new one just the beginning of this month, very beginning of this month, or the very end of last month. A new version of the core rulebook. I'm going to order it when I get some more money. Just so I can compare the two and see if there's actually any differences. But each one is supposedly, they clean up and reorganize some of the stuff, making it easier, and they clarify a few things, so it's not so difficult to learn to play the system. But generally, from what you see, they generally do try to make an effort to try to improve the system and make it easier to learn. It's just not a thing that they're really good at. And interestingly enough, I think Shadowrun is partially impeded by old fan base that is used to old mechanics and systems and levels of complexity layered on top of a simple framework, that it's really hard to fix and reorganize stuff because the old fans get really tweaked when you try to update or fix issues with a system, because they are either overly used to it being run in a particular way, or they just don't like someone fiddling around or rearranging things. They kind of like having a certain pattern and feel to it. In each one of these Gamemaster screens, there is as you remember, as I said before, there's a sticker sheet that has various nations, cities, and corporations, as well as some blank ones on it. And then they also have a how to use sheet explaining how to use the Gamemaster screen, as well as the advertisement on the back side for Shadowrun Sprawl Ops, which is a board game. And then they have a set of reference sheets for creating characters, such as the Adepts, character creation system rules, complex forms, qualities, and skill list on the front. And then they also have more information on the back side explaining. They also have another sheet that is about combat reference sheet, front and back. So they have a magic sheet that has various rules and mechanics for magic. Sometimes I wonder if I should actually just set these videos to 4K mode. And they have a matrix rigging sheet with various rules and tables for the matrix and how to rig. Overall, it's kind of hard to score this Gamemaster screen because I have never played Shadowrun, and as I said, I never played a dice pool system before. So it's just one of those things that's like, yeah, it's really cool, a whole lot of cool concepts. I would really love to try it out and play it. However, I have to then convince one of my groups to play it, and then that requires people to invest in a book, or I have to go start buying people books. Overall, I do really like the Gamemaster screen. It seems to be exceedingly well put together. The page numbers and all the little tables are useful, and as well as all the pockets. The pockets are awesome to have on a Gamemaster screen. I don't know why more companies don't put pockets on the outside of the Gamemaster screen. It's like one of those things like, hey, there is this nice artwork here. People might enjoy the artwork. However, the Gamemaster and the players might actually find better use in having, say, like pockets, not just here, but over the artwork. So if you want to take out the sheets, the artistic sheets with the little scenes or something else, and you could just put in player aid sheets or price lists for various items, that would also help out a lot. This is a very nice feature. I love this concept right here. I love the fact that this screen has pockets on the inside as well as tables here with page numbers. The problem with this screen is these page numbers might be incorrect now, as they have been updating in the core rule books, releasing new versions of it with some cleaned up and reorganized rules was to clarify issues that they've cropped up from the original book they released. My issue, besides the page numbers might be potentially incorrect, is the fact that this is open-ended right here, and this actually invites moisture to come in here and damage this edge here, where it folds open. Most Gamemaster screens, this is like a weird situation where Wizards of the Coast did something that's better quality than another company. But on the Wizards of the Coast screens, the cardboard hinges separates, so you can hinge it back and forward, as you can see on the Gamemaster screen. And this applies to pretty much every single Gamemaster screen that's out there for the most part, for the vast majority of games. This is the reincarnated screen. But in the case of Shadowrun Sixth World, it is hard-butted, and it's hinged on this piece of paper on the inside, as you can see. You see it? Zoom in. So when you close it, it butts into it, and you can't actually get it flat, and you can't concave it back the other way. So you have a limited range of angle on your screen. But other than that, this screen is awesome. Some of the text could be a little bit larger, more pockets. The moment I got pockets on the outside of a screen, I realized how useful those outside pockets are. And boy, I really love the idea of having pockets on the outside of the Gamemaster screen. I also like having pockets on the inside. And even then, maybe even have a pocket over the regular tables. So if you're not using those tables, you could slip in a revised version of those tables, or subtracting out the tables you do not need and replacing them with other stuff that would be very useful. So other than the hinges on this screen being not great, and the fact that the text is small and the page numbers might be incorrect, I do not know. I had to double check that. Compared to the different update versions, I will put that in the comments below. I'll double check if the page numbers match up to the rules in the second revised version of the core rulebook for Shadowrun Sixth World. But I'll put that in a comment below once I check it over when I get this uploaded. But anyways, this thing right here, if those page numbers are correct, is easily a 4-star screen. If they use the conventional hinge edges here, or the Gamemaster screen, or they used the little spacer sections, the extra wide ones that are in some of the screens, so there's more flexibility in opening and closing the screen. And they went and decided to actually put a pocket over the outside here and a pocket on the other screen, on the other artistic side. They just take that innovation and step it up a notch. This would easily be a 4.75 star screen. The potentiality of Shadowrun Callous Games, just with a few modifications, very simple modifications, could easily make literally the best Gamemaster screen ever for a game system. Is utterly amazing. Also kind of sad. As I said before, I've shown off other Gamemaster screens before in the past, and really it shifts and adjusts how cheaply made some Gamemaster screens are. However, still, with the really cheap Gamemaster screens of the past, they are still very aesthetically pleasing, and they also have really nice hinges, so you can easily fold the hinge either way and be perfectly fine. You got that gap in there. So there's just a few modifications to that Shadowrun screen by Catalyst Games, and they easily end up having outright the best period Gamemaster screen there is on the market for any TTRPG system. So I would really love it if they Catalyst Games took my advice and released a advanced Gamemaster screen for Shadowrun Sixth World with literally updates and quality adjustments to it, and then boom, you have like a new gold standard for a Gamemaster screen. So there you go. And it's not a terribly expensive price. It's only $25. So hey, that's not bad. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a delightful day, a nice week, and have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful week, and a magnificent month. And see you next time. Ciao.